2元 yeah, from my Hoyo creator shirt is reflective. I know right now, you right there, I see you typing on your keyboards. Oh my god, you f***ing Hoyo shield yourself in game.
Hey guys, MrPokke here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be discussing my early end game review for Zenless Zone Zero. I am currently at level 38, going towards level 40, probably will be getting it by the end of the week. I've also cleared all of shield defense from floor 1 to 10, the shield defense as well as a little bit on the refresh for 7 days. So here are the overall thoughts I have of this game, and without further ado, let's get into today's content.
Subscribe!
Alright, so I have been playing this game pretty diligently, I would say, for the past 1 week or so. This has pretty much been the only game I've been playing on my streams, with the exception of a occasional Elden Ring DLC shenanigans here and there. But pretty much I have been very involved in the game. Yeah, let's just kind of talk about it. I'm gonna be kind of following up for my previous review, which is the my free-to-play review, Zenless Zone Zero, 30 plus hours in, right? So that was the video. So today we're just gonna be following up. We're not gonna be starting from scratch. I'm not gonna be discussing. I'm not gonna be yapping from the UI. Oh my god, the god forbid the UI. The music, the characters. So a lot of the stuff that I've already covered, it kind of still stands. The music didn't change that much. The UI is not going to change. The characters, the design, they're exactly the same. So I will only be talking about like specifically towards the endgame content and the overall combat mechanics and what players should be more or less expecting when it comes to like their how much would it raise, how much would it cost to raise units, the difficulty of the endgame, is it still button mention, all that kind of stuff. Yep. So that's what we're going to be going through. Alright, so let's just start off with the first portion. Before we go into the endgame stuff, which is going to be the overall units, right? So from right now, my current progression in my own team is going to be raising these 4 units, right? Nico, Mata, Ellen, the MB, Hyper, Lucy, and Sokaku. Right? These are the 6 units that I have more or less locked into my investments, and every other units I pretty much didn't raise them at all. They are at level 20. I decided to kind of raise them up to level 20 and promote them from level 0 to level 1 because you do get a free standard summon, right? So if you take a look over here, you do get a free standard summon if you were to bring them up to level 20, and it costs very little for you to raise them. So I feel that as a free-to-play player such as myself, this will be worth it to just get a free standard summon, right? So why not? And yes, I am still completely free-to-play. I have still not spent any money, and nor have I touched any of the gems that my gem gods have given me at all. So I'm still completely free-to-play. And yeah, so overall, my progression, you can see that my equipment, I'm still using very relatable 4-star, A rank W engines all over the place. So I don't have a single S rank W engine. So overall, very relatable. My relics, they're pretty much more or less still barely leveled. The only unit that I would say has a somewhat decent investment would be my Ellen. This is the only unit that I actually put in quite a bit of time and effort into. So I have pretty much all A rank or S rank gears. And if you want to check out why I decided to invest in relics, feel free to check out my previous video, which is why players should be farming drive discs now, alright, or whatever the video is. I have no idea what the name is going to be called. We'll think about it at another date, right? So check out the previous video why we are investing in relics for my Ellen, right? So that is going to be the overall status for my equipments. For my skills, for my main DPS, every single skill is going to be leveled to level 7. Same thing for Ellen. And the rest of my units, I kind of just left them here and there for, I would say, the most important things for your supports and your breakers or whatever is going to be your skill and your assist. These 2 things. Everything else doesn't matter that much. NB specifically, I raised this up because I realized that NB, you want to cast a skill after you do a 3 basic attacks. 3 basic, skill, 3 basic. So I realized that with NB, I still use quite a bit of basic. It really depends on the unit that you are actually using, right? So for Sokaku, I actually raised her quite a bit because what I've noticed from Sokaku is that she actually deals a decent amount of damage herself, which is very nice. And when I'm fighting against a shield defense in there, if I want to just squeeze in a little bit more, like some dodge attacks, all that kind of stuff, then maybe I'll upgrade this a little bit, right? I would say this is completely wasted. This is my bad. I completely wasted this. I'm almost never using Sokaku's ultimate. So yeah, it is what it is. But we'll see, right? Maybe one day this will be useful again in the future. But yeah. So that's gonna be for Sokaku. Then Lucy, same thing. I've leveled up her skill, talent, and her basic attack. For Lucy specifically, I level up this basic attack because the boars actually scale with this. Your guard boars, which is like the passive summons, they actually deal a pretty significant amount of damage, and it scales with your basic attack traces. So especially towards the end game, if you're going to be using Lucy in the end game stages, where you know that from this, it inherits her crit rate and crit damage. So she can deal, her guard boars at least can deal a considerable amount of damage. So I have decided to upgrade the basic attack, assist as well as the skill. Ultimate still at level 1. Although I have seen some crazy damage from Lucy's ultimate. So maybe one day I'll level this ultimate as well. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as here. And then lastly, for Piper, I only pretty much just leveled the assist and skill, right? Not too much to say about here. That's pretty much it. And every single one have their core unlocked level 3. So the bottom line is it very resource hungry for me to raise these units, right? A little bit of context. I have used a few batteries, never refresh at all as a free to play, because there is a cardinal sin, right? I've used a few, I think I've used like 5 or 6 batteries here and there. And I still have a pretty moderately high amount of Denny's, right? 1.2 million-ish. And overall, I would say that my stash is not a lot, but not too little as well. A lot of these, especially these senior investigation log, you can get quite a bit from clearing your story modes. Your story modes and challenges, you can get quite a considerable chunk. So these are going to be quite abundant for me at least. And I have already raised 6 different units to level 40, right? So there's going to be that. I would say that the biggest bottleneck for me, personally, would definitely be the tracers. These tracers, they do take quite a lot, especially if you want to raise a lot of different skills. Other than that, you can kind of, within a day, you should be able to bring your units up to level, I'm talking about level 40, right? For level 40, it is quite easy to raise them up. It's only that for the tracers a little bit, it can be costing quite a little bit, which kind of brings me to another point, which is, did you know that if you go to go into this store, Fading Signal, you can actually get a pretty sizable amount of materials. 50 blues. I've basically cleared the shop for physical, fire, and ice, and I still have roughly 1,420 of these left. As a complete free to play. The only banner I put was beginner banner and Ellen banner. And my viewers sometimes force me to put on a weapon banner a little bit here and there, but like, it's nothing much, right? So I have quite a decent stash. I would say that in the early game, you can consider investing in this a little bit so that you can kind of save your stamina and let your main DPS kind of take it to the next level without costing that much, right? So I would say use this as you will. So this is what I have done personally. So yeah, overall, I don't really feel that is that big of a bottleneck when you are leveling your units from level 30 to level 40 that much. I would say from level 40 to level 50 though, do expect there to be a significant bottleneck, especially if you want to raise all 6 units to level 50, or if you are going to be building a 7th unit. In this case, for example, I think I'm going to be putting for Zhu. She has a huge ass, so I'm probably putting her, and I need to build her up, right? So if you want to start from scratch again, then it can get a little bit overwhelming, especially if you need to start building up your 7th unit, right? So it can take quite a little bit, but do not pre-farm for materials. I repeat, do not pre-farm for materials. Do not pre-farm. Watch my previous video to find out why. But TLDR, raising them at level 40, you're still completely fine. It's gonna take you probably like 1,000 plus is experience, stamina, and you're still gonna be able to make it before the rotation expires, right? So that's gonna be my personal opinion for 6 units. Currently in the quote-unquote early end game, completely fine. All right, cool. So with that out of the way, the elephant in the room, the combat system in Zenless Zone Zero. I'm sure some of you guys would have seen another one of my previous video, which is where the CN players, they have already cleared shield defense, floor 17, floor 16, all that. It is more or less done, and there's been quite a big mix of feedback, like, oh my god, it's just a HP spans. Even I myself, when I was looking at the gameplay, I felt like the bosses, the moves, they look very repetitive. They look kind of easy to dodge, and I feel that it's a little bit disingenuous, because keep in mind that is their quote-unquote best run. right? It's a good run. And they uploaded that to the run. So it can actually make the boss feel like it looks easier than it actually is. In my personal experience, when I actually cleared Shiyu 10, oh my god, I'm sorry guys, we're gonna lose the music. It is what it is, so bear with me. So in my personal experience, when I was doing these stages in Shiyu 10, in Shiyu 9, right, everything else I can't clear. I would say there's a lot more involvement than it would appear in the CN clearing video from first-hand experience. What I mean by that, okay, if you're a whale, then it doesn't matter, right? If you put for like multiple copies of Ellen, if you invested like hyper invested, level 50, all that, doing this, it probably doesn't matter. But for me as a player, when I'm doing these stages, the timing was very, very tight for me. And I definitely could not button mesh. And it's more than just a health sponge, especially for example this stage right here. This boss, after playing this boss for I would say like 4 days consecutively, you can kind of tell the difference from my day 1 playing this boss and day 4 playing this boss. I got a lot more comfortable with the moves. I can kind of predict, is it like the double slam or the foot storm, or when it's gonna jump out into the air, or what it's gonna do, compared to day 1 where I'm just getting hit all the time. And most of my first few runs, when I first played this, it wasn't even about health sponge. I was just dying. I was straight up dying. Like, I couldn't even clear it because the boss was just absolutely destroying my entire team. It's only towards the end, like today and yesterday, where I really nailed down what I need to do, when I need to parry, where I need to dodge. You can't even blindly parry because the bosses, they eat up so much of your parry meter, your assist points, that it will just end up resorting to dodge anyways, right? So that was from my personal experience. I would say that it was a very, very rewarding experience for myself as a free-to-play player to finally beat, for me, stage 10 using these relatable units. No level 50, no no, just relatable penguin boo, all that. Oh, I got a gun though. Gun is cute, right? Gun is cute. So I would say it was very, very rewarding to see the progression go forward, right? The combat, it is not like a Souls-like combat. So if you're expecting Zenless Zone Zero's combat difficulty to be in stages such as like, oh, if you miss this, you just die from a single hit. No, it's not exactly like this. There's definitely a lot more leniency when it comes to the hits that you're taking. I noticed that the difficulty of this game is not so much you getting punished heavily. It is more so knowing when to use what. When should you use your skill? Do you know that most unit skill have iframes? You can use your skill to iframe a incoming attack. Who should you swap into for your assist? Who should be the order when you perform your chain attack? Who should be your last unit standing out? When should you use the bamboo? Should you even use the chain attacks? Sometimes I just let my Allen go. I just let the countdown go and I don't even use it because it is an effective DPS loss. Do you know that different units, their animation is longer or shorter? For example, if you would use Sokaku as the last unit, by the time your animation is done, half of the days bar is already finished. So you only have half the time remaining to let go of your burst DPS. Whereas some units like NB is a lot faster, and therefore you could have a higher uptime with your skills, right? So these are the small kind of things that affects your decision making. It will not appear like much, but it will contribute towards your final clear time. So if you are expecting Zenless Zone Zero's endgame to be like Malenia Blade of Megala, where like if you fail, you just keep dying and dying and dying, you're not gonna be getting that. It is more so you're probably gonna be able to clear, especially if you can't clear now. When you reach level 50, you can definitely clear, right? Because at the end of the day, it is a gacha game, and gacha game difficulties, they are quote unquote artificial difficulties, right? As you progress more in the game, you'll get more levels, more upgrades. You are definitely just gonna be able to just brute force a stage because you have access to higher level. It is just a matter of time, right? But right now, if you are in a circumstance where you are under leveled and you still want to tackle the endgame, then you're definitely gonna see where the challenges will arise. And all these small things, they add up. If you don't contribute your levels, if you don't contribute like signature light code, signature weapons, signature W engines, these small rotations here and there, it kind of adds up, and you can physically see the timing improve. Like going from like a 3-minute, going from like a 3-minute remaining, 4-minute remaining, 5-minute, like it slowly adds up, and like these little nuances, it makes the game, in my opinion, feel quite enjoyable for me as a player. Alright, so that is the overall combat system that I felt in Zenless Zone Zero's current endgame. I will come back with a final endgame review, especially pertaining to the combat, once I have fully beaten all 17 stages in Shield Defense as a complete free-to-play, by the way, as a complete free-to-play. So stay tuned for that. Other than this, story. I don't think I was shy about it when I said Zenless Zone Zero Chapter 1 story. It completely didn't interest me at all because I read that shit like 3 times. So just skip through everything. Chapter 2, which was what I mentioned in my mid-game review, it definitely got a little bit better, especially the Colada arc. Chapter 3, ooh, really, really good. If you are a, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels very, very good. The whole Victoria housekeeping art, the animations, the panels. Overall, I think the story definitely has a much more enjoyable vibe to it. And at this point, the TVs, I also don't feel that they are live ending. Oh my god, there's TV in this game. I'm gonna kill myself in-game, right? Because at this point, what I've noticed is that in Zenless Zone Zero, majority of my time, or at least when I'm actually playing the game, is either going on dates, which if you're not into that, then it's a damn shit, because going on dates in this game is actually really, really fun. Where the hell is my dates? Yeah, like raising up my girls, you know, it's actually very, very enjoyable. Me personally, I really like this. Or just straight up playing the end. Oh shit. Yippee! Level 3 trust with Hui Hui. Yeah, so overall, it's either going through on dates, this kind of small stuff, or I'm just playing the endgame content, brandishing up my skills, learning the rotations, knowing when to use a basic, when to dodge, when to heavy, when to, like, I would say 70 to 80% of the time, I'll be spending it in the endgame content, just trying to improve the overall rotations of my characters. So is Zenless Zone Zero a combat-focused game? From my personal experience of where I'm playing right now, yes. Because the story is done, the exploration is done. The only thing that's left to do is pretty much shield defense. So I would say yes, the combat element is definitely the main focus as of where I am right now in the early endgame, going into the endgame, right? In the very, very early portions of the game, no. It is not a combat game. It is pretty much a story game with all of the stories, EV, puzzles, all that. Getting through, getting familiar with the UI. Oh my god, God forbid the UI, right? So yeah, take that as you will and take that with your own personal opinion, right? Because this is my personal experience. It might be very, very different from yours, right? So to kind of wrap it up for Zenless Zone Zero as the rank 1 Hoyo Shield, by the way. Should you play Zenless Zone Zero now that as a complete free-to-play player such as myself have already reached more or less the endgame stage? I would say if you only want a game for combat, like only combat and nothing else, just play Elden Ring. Like, I will touch my heart. Every minute I spend Elden Ring is infinitely more enjoyable than any of the other time I spent in a gacha game. For like a combat game, for a combat adventure, all that, it is so fun. Alright, so if you want to do that, just play Elden Ring. Otherwise, you kind of have to get that Zenless Zone Zero. I feel like the game itself is starting to draw me in, not just from combat alone. I'm getting more drawn to the characters. I'm getting more drawn to the story. And overall, just seeing how everything develops over time will be the state of the game. It is just like in Honkai Star Rail. Pentagony was so fucking peak that it legitimately made players have a attachment towards Firefly. Let's just be real, if Pentagony's story didn't happen, Firefly would look like the most generic, boring-ass waifu in the entire world. But because of Pentagony, it made players realize, holy shit, that's my girlfriend right there. Right, let's just be real. So story and character development, it definitely ties apart to a game itself. So if you're a player that don't care about all that and you just want to get your fucking ass whooped, then no, I don't think Zenless Zone Zero is for you. And another point is, yes, the start of the game, I would say it is still pretty draggy. In a modern day and age in 2024, when you can literally get Elden Ring for $100 and just go ahead and just get so much enjoyment from minute 1, if you don't want to dedicate like 10, 20 hours of your time into Zenless Zone Zero because the start is draggy, that is also completely justifiable, right? Everybody's time is valuable. If you don't want to spend that much time going through that, it's completely justified. Me personally, if Zenless Zone Zero's first 10 or 20 hours was gonna be this case for the rest of the game, then fuck this game, right? But because I'm really at a stage where all that is kind of done behind me, I can say that I genuinely do enjoy this game. For myself personally, right? Oh my god, Hoyo Shield. Imagine enjoying a Hoyoverse game. Oh my god, cancel me, guys. Right? So that is my personal opinion. Verdict for my current stage, where I am currently level 38, going to level 40, clearing shield defense, clearing Holo Zero, done with the story more or less, going on dates with my girlfriends. I will honestly give this game, at this point, a very solid 8. A very solid 8. And I guess one last question that everyone would be wondering, where would I rank Zenless Zone Zero? Or rather, where would I rank this with the big 4? Genshin Impact, Honkai, Starbucks, Rolling Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. Oh my god. Once again, this is just my personal preference, right? This is just my personal preference, okay? For me, right now, the rank 1 game that I'm having the most fun of as of the current moment is Zenless Zone Zero. Is it? I feel that Zenless Zone Zero right now is giving me the most amount of enjoyment. Rank 2, I would say, is Honkai Starbucks. Rank 3, Wuthering Waves. Rank 4, Genshin Impact. So here's my rationale, right? Here's my rationale. I don't want to play a gacha game for the sake of playing a gacha game every day. So I have to factor in the amount of enjoyment that they have brought me in the past, as well as right now, the collective enjoyment that I have obtained. I think Honkai Starbucks, it has been an absolutely insane game for the past 1 year. It has been my main game for the past 1 year. It's just that as of right now, there ain't a lot to do in Honkai Starbucks. Like, yo, chat, let's just be completely honest with ourselves. There's not a lot to do in Honkai Starbucks. And if you don't agree with that, you are living in a lie, right? Or maybe you conduct in PvP in twitch.tv/MrPokke and discord.gg/Pokke's Village. You can join Pokke's Village PvP where you can play with your friends in Memory of Chaos. Insane. That is pretty much the only repeatable content in Honkai Starbucks right now that we have. Other than that, there's really not a lot to do. Whereas Zenless Zone Zero, it is a very new breath of fresh air for me. I enjoy the aesthetics, I enjoy the gameplay, I enjoy the story, and I enjoy getting my ass whooped as a complete free-to-play. Maybe the reason why I'm having so much fun in Zenless Zone Zero, it might be because of free-to-play, guys. Because technically, Zenless Zone Zero is the first game ever that I've played in the gacha that I've still remained free-to-play for this long. I have still not touched anything for this long. So it is honestly a very new perspective when it comes to gacha games. And as we all know, whenever something new comes along, you're always going to get the absolute highest marginal utilities, right? Absolute highest marginal enjoyment. And that is where I stand. Wuthering Waves. Oh my god. Let me just stand up. I am the rank 1 Hoyo Show, guys. I am the rank 1 Hoyo Show, right? Oh my god. Fuck. Okay. As a rank 1 Hoyo Show. Wuthering Waves. I think the game is fine, right? I think the game is fine. Open world, very nice, very good. But for me, personally, the only quote-unquote like fun times, aside from pulling for E6 Zinling, because that was a was hologram fights. Power of adversity in Wuthering Waves, at the end of the day, they are HP sponges. I'm sorry. I think hologram fights in Wuthering Waves, they are very fun because they are extremely unforgiving. Even if you have E6 units, it is very unforgiving. So that's good. Whereas in Tower of Adversity, I think it really depends on your personal preference. Not only just from the gameplay perspective, but also from like the design and aesthetics perspective. I just like Zenless Zone Zero's design better. I like the art style. I like the graphics. I like the parry system. I prefer this compared to Wuthering Waves. And that is my personal opinion. I know right now I see you, right? I see you. That you right there. I see you typing on your keyboards. Oh my god, you fucking hold your shield. Kill yourself in game. How dare you say I see you typing, right? I see you typing. And to that, I'll be like, you know what? just type away. Because my personal opinion on how I derive enjoyment from a game is gonna be mine and mine alone. And feel free to agree or disagree, right? These are my subjective truths for my own personal playing experience. If I wanted a badass fight, a badass game, a badass, oh my god, destroy me, yo, check out twitch.tv/MrPokke where we're playing Elden Ring DLC. I'm gonna be beating the DLC before Tectone because his ass is not built. He is not him. Blood hasn't even cleared Sekiro, right? So I'll see you guys there. So that's basically how I'm going about it. Whenever there's a new stuff, new patch, new things, I'll always hop on because, you know, I fundamentally still enjoy gacha games. But other than that, yeah, that is my final verdict on the current standing of where I am right now. Maybe who knows, in the future when Changli drops and all that kind of stuff, right? Honkai stuff, new characters, Akron 2.0, we'll change, right? Things can change. Things can change. It's just this is gonna be the situation right now. When I am bored of Zenless Zone Zero, when shield defense is just HP sponges, because all my units are level 80, all my units are maxed out. After a couple of months, you know, hey, who knows, right? Zenless Zone Zero can go back down. I might. It's always fluid, but this is just gonna be my perspective and the end of the day, right? So with that, we have finally come to an end of a very, very slightly non-neutral video, I would say, at the end of the video, right? Slightly non-neutral, but you know, at the end of the day, we gotta state our opinions here and there, right? So that's gonna be it. Want to check out any discussion? Join Discord at discord.gg/Pokke's village. We're very active commenting on Zenless Zone Zero on daily basis. All the best for Alan Pools, all the best for Julian Pools, and I'll see you guys next time.